and go.
Great. Okay. All right. This is the second quarterly meeting of the New Braunfels Photographic Society's board. In attendance, we have Beverly, our secretary, Suzanne, one of our directors, Holly, our social media director, Frank, another one of our directors, and Albert, our vice president. Currently not here is our treasurer. Okay. All right. Meeting is officially started. Okay. Beverly, you have the agenda?
Well, I really didn't have much to put on it other than
That's okay. Just give us the
generic,
first item.
quarterly meeting approval.
Okay. So the minutes from the last quarterly meeting,
Yes.
did everybody read them? They're on the website, remember? Okay, so I'm assuming you read them, and if you have an issue with them, you'll bring it to the board's attention when I call for the vote. And is there a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting?
I'll motion that you be approved.
A second?
Second.
Anybody?
Second.
Okay, great. Okay. And so all in favor of approving the last quarter's minutes, say aye.
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 Aye. Okay. Minutes are approved. Okay, Beverly, moving on.
Okay, financial report.
Okay.
This is the March 2022 financial statement, but I have not received the April statement yet. So as of the ending balance of February 28th, 2022, we have $2,531.26.
Okay.
In the month of February, we had some dues come in and expenses for promo codes. So
Okay. Okay. Holly, you are a co-signer on our account.
that's
Okay.
correct.
And you are in the know for upcoming expenses. Are you aware of any upcoming expenses that balance would be taking a hit with?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, great. So the website's good to go?
Yep, it renews in the fall.
Okay, great. And in the fall, that's before we have another annual membership drive, right?
Yes,
And how much will that be for? So that's an outgo later in the year.
that's correct. I'm not sure. I'd have to look it up.
Okay, if it's easy for you to do that, if you could, and we'll get back to it later. Okay, all righty. Beverly, what's next on the agenda?
Well, actually, next was the PSA update, but I guess since
Since
nobody's
Dennis
here.
isn't here? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, in regard to PSA, there's a couple of sub issues. One was an update for the quarterly, well, not the quarterly, but the third competition, interclub competition. And I can tell you that I'm usually CC'd when those things come in to Dennis. And a couple of times I haven't been, but for some reason, I believe I'm still supposed to be CC'd on that. And I have not received anything. So currently I would say there's no update to the interclub competition. The other than what we announced, did we announce it at the last meeting who was selected, or did we select after the last meeting and turn them in?
Selected after.
Okay. So at the next meeting, we will announce. I know Dennis sent out an email to the 6 people that were selected to have one of their photos submitted. So I know those folks know that they've been submitted, and I'm sure Holly will have in the presentation next Monday the 6 photos that were submitted and who they were. Okay.
Correct.
All right. The second issue with PSA is the monthly critiques we've been working with. Okay. So everybody except Beverly was at the last meeting, but Beverly suffered through the video so she could write the minutes, so she knows the feedback that we got. So I'm gonna open it up to the floor for discussion on how we should move forward in regard to taking the assignment, black and white and color photos, and what we do with them. Okay. In regard to asking for critiques from PSA. Nobody wants to go first?
I'll go
Okay.
first.
Okay, go ahead.
I made a couple notes during our meeting last month of the folks that were willing to speak up and give an opinion. And it sounded like most everybody agreed that they would like to see and hear the feedback on all three categories when all three have been critiqued.
Okay.
I didn't hear anybody have any hesitation about sharing that information, but
Okay.
that was, and I for one would like to hear and see all three categories. I think it's really beneficial.
I agree. And I think I said it in the last meeting too, was that I value the critique of my own work, and I value the critique of others' work, because I can learn from that critique too. And our purpose here is to become better photographers, and feedback is a great way to become a better photographer. So I'm completely in favor of staying the course where we are.
Okay.
Would agree.
I agree as well.
Okay. So stay the course is pretty much the consensus of the board. Okay.
Mhm.
How many photos did we have to submit for this month?
We submitted all three categories. We had 9 for assignment, 7 for black and white, and 9 for color. So it was 26 altogether.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, 25 altogether.
Okay. All right. Then we'll continue to move forward in that direction. Okay.
So
Go ahead.
sorry. So what do we do when there's the three categories and we have 35 and our limit's 30, right?
There was a few months we had that problem. And I thought things were going great, but the photo submission has been dropping. And I'm not sure why. Does anyone have any ideas?
Well, I didn't submit anything this month for the first time in ages. And I didn't have any reason not to. I had time to shoot. I had opportunity to shoot, but I just wasn't feeling inspired. And I'm getting a little discouraged in the 5 or 6 years I've been in the club. I think I've gotten 2-3 times where I've gotten photo of the month, which is fine. It's not a big deal, but sometimes when I really try and I don't get any votes, it's a little discouraging. So I just took a month off this month. I didn't do anything for water for that very reason. Oh, and that terrible photo of Charlie that I put in last month, his black and white, where he had his eyes closed and he was licking the air. I got the PSA results back. They haven't been posted yet because we're waiting for this. The judge gave me a 3, the lowest score you can get. I knew it was going to get eviscerated, but it was a little embarrassing. Anyway, that was my own fault, but I could see why somebody might feel a little intimidated then after, if they've been participating for a long time and haven't gotten a photo of the month or haven't gotten a good score, that it would feel a little like, why bother?
Photo of the month is voted on by the club, not selected by PSA.
Right.
Well,
I would blame COVID for the drop in submissions.
I mean,
I will
COVID is
that.
taking a bad rap.
I've had COVID for the last 2 weeks, and I was just in no mood to do anything with photography.
Oh, bless your heart.
So yeah, but the month before, I just wasn't inspired. There just wasn't anything that I just wanted to go do, and that's okay. There's some months I'm not inspired.
Mm-hmm.
But Holly, back to your concern about not getting the photo of the month, the vote, and so forth. I was starting to get discouraged too, And then we started to send photos into PSA, and not being competitive or anything, PSA was giving me higher scores than the photo that won that month.
Mhm.
And at first I got kind of mad, but then I realized, so it's a different audience, and folks are voting, and everybody has the right to vote the way they want to, and it's art. People are going to be subjective about it, and ultimately the person I'm trying to please with my photography is me.
Exactly.
And
Yeah,
if
that's
I'm
exactly the way
happy,
you have to look at it.
if I'm happy with what I've got and it looks good on my wall, then that's all good. And I can't worry about if somebody else's taste is different from mine.
Sure.
Right.
I'm so
Okay.
glad you spoke up, Frank. Thank you for sharing that. Makes me feel a
Yeah.
little better.
Yeah, everyone needs to remember that photo of the month is kind of like a popularity contest, or king and queen at the prom. The Oh, we got Dennis in. Did you
Yeah.
let him in, Holly?
Yes.
Okay, great. I said somebody popped in for a second. I thought, oh, we got a spammer.
Oh, no, not again.
Because I didn't let him in. Hey, Dennis, how you doing? And do you have Sharon with you?
He's on mute. Dennis, you're on mute.
Yeah. Okay, moving on. You just need to remember, photo of the month is a popularity contest of everybody that just picks what they like, and that goes different directions. So yeah, I don't know. I know it'd be time consuming to go all the way back to the first time we started doing it and see how many times the photo of the month got outscored.
It's interesting.
I've
Yeah.
been guilty of not submitting either, but I've had so much on my plate. I couldn't even make Monday's meeting. I had to go attend a work event. But yeah, building a house and working evenings and all that stuff, it's been taking a toll.
Yeah,
Oh my
there's a lot
gosh.
going on.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna bring Sharon and Dennis up to speed. Okay, we've been joined by our treasurer Sharon and our PSA representative Dennis. Okay, and what we've done so far is approve the minutes. Holly recorded for posterity the financial balance from last month. And we moved into, and we discussed the interclub competition, and I took the information I have is that the 6 individuals have been informed that their photo has been submitted. But other than that, there is no additional update. The results are not back yet, to my knowledge. Dennis, if you have anything.
Well, I don't, if there are results, it'll go directly to the email for the club. The pictures have been submitted and everything. 15, no, they haven't even, today is what day? 6th of April? Oh, they don't even look at them until the 15th of April.
Okay, so no update, but everyone knows who's been there. So we're good. We're up to speed there. And then we just started into discussing the sending photos to PSA for critique and judging, based on the feedback that the members gave us at the last meeting. We were about to make a decision on what moving forward. Okay, so before I put the motion out there to what the consensus was going to be, Sharon and Dennis, do you have any feedback in regard to how we're doing it?
Well, the last meeting we had, it certainly looked like most of the people wanted to have their photos sent, and some people don't. So, I mean, either we send them all, or somebody's got to do the administrative stuff of picking out the photos of the people that don't want to go. and sending them, but we don't have that. I guess we if we sent all of them, we had like 25 photos this month. I don't know how much work it would be, and I wouldn't mind doing it. I don't think it'd be a whole lot of work if the members that didn't want to have their photos sent, we could take them out and just send the other photos. But I don't. Whatever you guys want to do is fine with me.
Sharon?
I've talked about this before. I don't care whatever the club wants to do. I am concerned with the decrease. Seems to me there's a decreasing number of assignment pictures being submitted. I'd be more interested in trying to figure out why people aren't submitting pictures than in whether we send it to PSA or not.
Okay, yeah, we discussed that a little bit, and the consent, it seems like Frank wanted to blame it on COVID. And I told him COVID's getting a bad rap here. But okay, so listen, let's to keep things moving forward, let's go ahead. Basically what you said, the two of you said, is what we were about to go ahead and move forward with and make it official. So I'll go ahead and make the current motion on the floor is to maintain what we've been doing in the past and not deviate from it. So we will submit all three categories up to 30 photos, and then we will continue to post results on Facebook. Okay. So that's the motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Never mind.
There are none opposed. Okay. So motion carries. We continue to do business as we've been doing it. Okay. But Sharon did bring up the same issue I brought up. Why is there a decrease in entries? Okay. And I believe we do need to explore that, and maybe send, do you think sending a survey out to the membership would help?
I think it's worth asking for feedback. We could do a poll or an email if people wanted to be private, but I think it would be great to have a discussion about it.
Okay. Holly, do you want to put that together? And
Sure.
however you decide to move forward, whether it's a poll or an email requesting feedback, just move forward with that. And let's, if you get actionable feedback that you feel requires immediate action, we can have a special Zoom to deal with it. Otherwise, work on this till the next board meeting. Okay.
Okay.
And we'll bring it up at it'll be a topic for the next board meeting. Okay. Okay, Beverly, what's next on the agenda?
Actually, I have nothing else specific because I wasn't sure what we were going to be talking about.
Okay. Then we can talk about the first thing I'd like to bring up is the youth photography contest. We were kind of talking about it before we brought the meeting to order. Currently, well, the youth photography contest is being sponsored by the City of New Braunfels Library and the Greater New Braunfels Art Council. Okay. The Greater New Braunfels Art Council is going to provide a $500 donation toward cash prizes for the different categories. There are 6 categories. Okay. And there's a first, second, and third, and honorable mention for each category. And then there is a best in show. Okay. Right now, it's kind of running itself, except we need, if we want greater participation, then we expect we need to do things like get on our share the information on our Facebook page, share the information on our next door apps, and let people know about it. Okay. The contest is free to the kids. It's middle school and high school in the greater New Braunfels area. So that means even people, since the Greater New Braunfels Art Council is made up of organizations all the way out to Canyon Lake and past that, and all the way out to Seguin. The gambit's open. I don't think we're going to turn anybody away. Okay. The library has agreed to be the point of contact for submissions, which means people will bring their kid, or the kid will drive up to the library and drop off their photos, and they're going to collect them, house them until a group of us show up at the library to go through the judging process. Okay. So that's going to require time on our part. And right now, I don't have anybody that has volunteered to step up for that. Okay. As far as, well, okay, I'll keep that time period in my calendar kind of open so I can give up some time. And I won't have a real timetable on exactly when we're going to do it, because I'm kind of waiting to see how many there are to judge. If we get a small entry number, then 1 or 2 people can go judge it over an hour or two. Okay. And then it's a matter of working with the library and getting them all displayed. But if we have a really huge entry, okay, then it will take obviously probably more than a day to get through those. Okay. If we're just doing a couple of hours each day or something like that. Something to think about. Don't need a commitment right now. What would really be nice is just help get the word out. And this is something we need to ask other members Monday night to also do. Okay.
Can
And I'm going, go ahead.
Question, are these going to be sent in digitally, or how are the pictures going to be stored and displayed? I don't understand.
The entry form requires the students to print their photo and then mat the photo on a 11 by 14 or 17 mat with a backing. Okay. So there's an actual matted photo. Now the picture can be anything from the largest picture can't be any bigger than I think an 8 by 10. And they could have the 11 by 14 mat with a 5 by 7 inside the mat. Okay. So it can be, but that would probably require a special cut mat from Hobby Lobby or Michael's or something like that.
Why did we decided they had to be photos instead of digital? Why did we decide that? Why we decided, when the kids are so familiar with digital, why did we decide to go with photos? With photos and maps?
Because that we wanted to bring the library on board and have an exposition for people to come and look at the photos. Okay. This is the first time we've done this, and I understand I'm kind of pushing this down everybody's throat because this is my pet peeve. Okay. But I truly believe this is my belief. Okay. We need, or I feel that we need to reach out to the youth school them in photography, okay? And otherwise, photography, as we know it, is going to die, okay? If we're not passing it on, it's not going to be carried on. The cell phone is going to become the big money maker, okay? I mean, digital cameras have taken a big hit because of cell phones. But I believe a properly composed photograph captured with a digital camera and then gone through the print process and created on a medium that someone is proud to frame on their wall, okay, is an art form, okay? And that art form is going to be lost if we don't try to share it and keep it alive. Plus, I believe our membership will start to wane, okay? So I understand, you know, it's kind of like I can lead you to water, but I can't make you drink it. All right. But it's something I believe in, and whether it's something that eventually comes to fruition with this club as being part of it or not, you know, we'll see. Okay. But after we run this one, if the board doesn't want to continue trying to go down that road, then I won't force it on you after that. Okay. But, you know, nothing ever happens if nobody takes that first step. Okay. And whether you come willingly or begrudgingly, okay, just keep an open mind. Okay. All right.
I think we might have an opportunity to gather some feedback from that age group, because your point about cell phones is well taken, that it could be that age group is taking a lot of photos on their phones and might get surprised when they try and print something 8x10 off that little 1/8 inch sensor or 1/4 inch sensor. And it doesn't look quite as good big as it does on the screen. And so I think it's an opportunity for us to take some feedback and say, maybe we do or don't need to make some adjustments next year when we do this.
Well, one of the reasons I went with no bigger than an 8x10 is most of the newer phones can produce pretty good 8x10. Okay. But with this, I also offered my services to give free photography classes at the library for middle school and high school kids. Okay. And that went well. All right. So my intent, the library gave me 2 dates to run with prior to the competition so that we could do some classes. And then that was supposed to be like, well, let's test the waters and see how it goes. And if they respond well, then we'll see about adding more classes. Okay. So after the last class, the director of youth services told me that they would look at the calendar for more classes. They want to take a break during the summer because they have all their summer programs. Okay. But then they're saying that we can come in and do classes after that. Okay. And they gave me an alternate location to look at for potentially doing classes, but we have to work that out with the director at that alternate location. Let's see. So that's my dream. And if it's nobody else's dream, then we'll get through it. Okay. And I won't make it unbearable for everybody. Okay. So, and with that said, I want to discuss the meetup site. Okay. I think the club gets more bang for its buck from the Facebook page. I don't think the meetup site, there are some people joining the meetup site, and then when they see it, I see them asking about the club, wanting to know what we're doing. In fact, at the coffee I ran this morning, I had a person said they signed up for the actually, Holly, did we get any new people requesting information about the club from the website? Or I was under the impression he did it on Meetup, but
James Mosley is somebody that just sent in, he actually sent in 3 requests. The first one was just for himself, and the second one was for him and his wife. So I just forwarded those on to Sharon and Beverly this evening.
okay. So, but what I want to do, because I believe the traffic on the meetup site is nowhere near what the traffic on the website and the Facebook site is. I want to turn the meetup site into the New Braunfels Photographic Society youth chapter.
Cool.
Okay. And obviously every person that enters a photo is going to get a personalized invitation to join that meetup site. Okay. And that's how we'll continue to communicate with them and offer classes that way. Okay. So that's the direction I'd like to go with it. Okay. So right now I'm going to open the floor up to discussion. And this is your chance to give me your feedback on those 2 issues. No feedback?
Well, I work in San Antonio, so if you don't mind opening the contest up to people in San Antonio, I'll hand out as many flyers as I can.
I think San Antonio is kind of far. Agreed. I'd love to make it open to anybody. But
well, let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. Well, my
You know what?
my daughter teaches 5th grade in Comal. I could do up a bunch of flyers and have perhaps, they could put them on the desk, and I don't know, they could maybe take them home.
Let me show you all the flyer. Let me do a share screen. Tell me what y'all are seeing.
Photography contest.
Mhm.
Okay, so you see the flyer. Yeah, well, you got this little thing running here. So
No, yeah, that's not the
That's
flyer.
That's
Are we-
different than the one you sent us.
it is. It
Okay.
is. This one came in to me a day and a half after the other flyer did.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
It's
so
nice.
Mhm.
I personally kind of like this one better. So I sent this to Digital Pro Lab and asked them to print me some posters and some flyers. And what I want to do is I want to go into chat and see if I can attach the flyer. Okay, it's in chat. Well, I guess I got to send it now. Or can y'all see it in chat? Is the flyer there?
Yeah, the flyer's here.
Okay, great. All right.
Oh, I don't know about in chat. I'm just looking at my screen.
Okay.
That's
Well, if
there.
you open up your chat, you should be able to
It's there.
click it open and then download it. And this one's got a QR code on it that you can't see because of this thing here.
Click to open. All right.
Let's
It
see
worked
if
for
I
me.
do
Did it open? I don't think so.
I don't know, there's things happening. It might be open in the background somewhere.
let's see. Okay. Okay, so you should have lost the shared screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So the flyer is in chat, and if you have the ability to download it, well, either flyer, okay. You got the first flyer. That flyer has a QR code that brings you to our website to get the entry form. This flyer has a QR code that takes you to the Greater New Braunfels Art Council website to download the entry form. So any help you can give us with getting that out, go ahead. And I tell you what, Suzanne, if you could reach out to your daughter at Comel and share it with her and see if she can share it with as many people as possible, that'd be great.
Okay.
And I'll get back to you on whether or not we want to open it up to San Antonio. I mean,
Okay.
when you go San Antonio, that is just a whole lot of school districts. And I almost think that the Art Council may have hesitation in sponsoring it again next year if most of their money goes outside of the greater New Braunfels area.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll work with my daughter and the Comel School District and see if we can get some flyers out to the junior high and high schools.
Okay, that'd be super.
Also, Anna attends Life Bridges, which they run the print shop for all of Comel ISD, and I can ask about how they distribute that stuff to everybody. And
Okay.
see, and maybe they'd be willing to print it and send it out to the schools. It doesn't hurt to ask.
No, it doesn't.
That would be
great.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah. Okay. Let me think. Okay. Any other discussion on this topic?
One thing I didn't see on that poster, and maybe it was hidden behind something else, was just the age or the grade groups.
It's middle school and high school.
Okay, so that's 6th, 7th, 8th, and then high school.
Yeah, and it's not just in the independent school districts, it's also homeschool. So if the student is homeschooled, they just have to put what grade level they're at. Okay, and it's got to be equal grade level of middle school and high school. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay. All right, so next week, there is a coffee at Panera Bread, and this will go on the monthly meeting next Monday night. There's a monthly coffee at Panera Bread at Creekside, okay? So as for my part, I plan to host a coffee in Shirts once a month, then in New Braunfels once a month, then either third or fourth week, depending on when I have to go into the hospital for my eye stuff. And that changes every month. But whichever week I'm available, I'm going to do a photo walk. Okay. I know I've been saying we're going to do this. Okay. And it just seems like I don't get no interest. Well, I finally decided it's like, well, if I'm the only one that shows up, fine. Okay. Maybe I'll get some good pictures. Okay. But
where do you want to do your photo walk at?
Well, I'm open to suggestions, but the photo walk would be on a Wednesday morning. Okay. But I'm open to doing them anywhere that we can get participation. Okay, would be great. Okay. But we can start close, or we can start Fredericksburg. Okay. And well, I know the first one I really want to do is to go to Wimberley. I want to go to Wimberley and have breakfast and then walk the town before people start showing up and getting in the way, and then hit a winery, then go to a barbecue place and have some barbecue, and then call it a day. So that was definitely on the list. Okay. And that's probably going to be the one that happens this month. Okay. And shoot, I can tell you what day it's going to be this month. Well, I could. Yeah, I got my phone.
We'll have to call it. Okay.
Let's see. Okay, so the 13th is the coffee in New Braunfels at Panera Bread at Creekside. At 20th, I'm out of commission that week.
When do we go to Louisiana?
21. I don't have my phone there either.
So
Right, they want-
it'll be the 27th. Okay. And it'll be the Wimberley thing. Okay. I can go up there. I can drink wine by myself at the winery.
I'm free the 27th. I'll take the day off from work and I'll join you.
All right. So I'll make up an itinerary. So and you don't have to come at and I need to let everybody know this at the meeting Monday night. If you can't make it for the very first event, then, and I mean event of the day, okay, then come later, okay, and find us, okay. But I'm going to start with breakfast at the Wimberley Cafe there in the square, okay, because I like to get there early, and then after breakfast do some walk around the town and some shots, and then from there hit a couple other spots and do some photography, and then move to the winery, and then from the winery go to somewhere for lunch. And there's a couple of good places up there. Okay, so that's what we'll do, and I'll put the itinerary together and have it ready to go for Monday night. And if you can be there in time for breakfast, great. And if not, then find us at somewhere on the square later, a little later. Okay. And if you can't find us then, find us at the winery. And if you can't get there till after that, you can find us for lunch. All right. Okay. Anything else that anyone would like to bring up?
You had asked how much the website was, and
Yes.
it's $353 every other year. So it's every
Every
two-
other year.
Mhm.
So didn't we just pay that last year?
We did, yes,
So we get a pass this year.
yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. Then, well, before I give up the floor, I have one more motion I'd like to make. Okay. The Greater New Braunfels Art Council is donating $500 to the photo tournament. I'd like to make a motion that we match that. Okay. and become truly equal partners with them in this endeavor. Okay.
Money, right?
So if that's something that board members might be amenable to, we would need to vote on it. So it's open for discussion right now as to how you feel about that.
I think a bigger cash prize would be a big draw for a lot of teenagers. So I think it's a great idea, and we've got plenty of funds.
Anybody else?
I agree.
I agree.
I'm supportive. I'm just I trust Holly's assessment of the accounting of the funds. And if she feels that we can afford it, then I'm supportive of it.
Okay.
I would just be concerned. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Victor.
Well, I was going to say, as far as accounting of the funds, our true accountant is Sharon. So
Oh, that is true.
yeah. So Sharon, if you have any feedback on whether this is something that we could or could not do, let us know now.
Oh, I think we can do it. The question is, do we want to spend that money on something for our club or for this? And I guess that's up to the board. I guess the membership doesn't need to vote on that. $500 is a lot of money, though. I'm not sure, didn't we have I'm not sure what's in the bylaws, I'm sorry, about expenditures of that size.
I don't think there's anything about size in the bylaws, but it also, I believe in the bylaws, it also says that the board is responsible for financial decisions. And Holly's looking at it right now, I can tell. I can almost read the bylaws in her glasses.
Just moved again.
Group says what, but
So while Holly's reading, I'd just be concerned that if the money for the prize money got too big, that it might encourage some cheating. And we just need to be able to have some rules of, you kid, you did this photograph and it's not off the internet and it's not mom or dad's photo and all that.
Yeah,
it
how do
just,
you do that though?
sorry, go ahead, Dennis.
How do we do that? Yeah, that's great. I just don't know how you
very,
measure that.
I'm afraid they're smarter than us as far as that goes.
Yeah, I don't know either.
That's a good point. We could take a picture of whatever they submit and do a reverse Google image search to make sure it's not something already
Stock
out there
photo.
existing.
I guess we could, if there's anything we suspect that potentially might not be their own work. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know that, kid may go out and take a photo, but mom or dad might Photoshop it for them. But to a point, okay, I believe that would happen with the younger kids and probably not with the high school kids.
That begs the question. Maybe a fifth, sixth, seventh grader wouldn't do it, but when you get into high school, these people, are you allowed to process things in Photoshop, take things out, put things in deposits or whatever? And
Yeah, there's no restrictions, okay? There are 6 categories, and let me see if I can find the by chance, have y'all read the entry form?
I have.
Okay, so the entry form has the
okay, yeah.
categories.
Yeah.
Okay. And there were no restrictions put in the submission packet. It's a 4-page packet, which for some, oh, here it comes. Okay.
So as long as the photographer does it, it's fine.
Yeah. And this, from my standpoint, this is a learning exercise for,
And I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of kids' parents that are going to say, oh, well, let me do this and you'll win or something.
yeah, because one, nowhere do we say how much the monetary value for first, second, and third is going to be. So, and we specifically chose not to list that, so that would give us more time to go out and solicit donations to the prize pot. Okay. Both prize and monetary donations. So all we say in the advertisements is cash prize and ribbon. So whatever we're able to come up with, and we have the 6 categories, and that's why I opened this up to start with, was to find the categories. So the categories are action, animals, portrait and people, landscape, scenic, and then creative effects. Okay. And in creative effects, we talk about adding filters, photo composites, HDR blends, photos that have basic adjustment, including removing sensor spots, adjustment to color balance, contrast, exposure, dodging, burning, are eligible in all categories. Okay. But so I guess with that said, the creative effects is the only one to where you could do composites and stuff of that nature. The only thing you can do to your photos in the other 5 categories, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, there's only 5 categories. I thought there were 6. Okay. The other 4 categories is remove dust spots, color balance, contrast, exposure, dodge, burn, sharpen. Okay. If that's helpful to everybody.
Yeah.
Do y'all want me to, I can add that to the chat room as well. Let me find it. I believe this is it. Okay, it's in the chat room if you want to download it, but you can download it from our website as too. Holly has it up on the website. And if you scan the QR code for that's on the poster you can get it there as well. Okay. All righty. So any last discussion on the issue at hand? Okay. Is there anyone that would be kind enough to second the motion?
I'll second.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, great. All right, so Sharon, I'll reach out to you and let you know when and how we'll go about matching the funds. Okay. Right now, the big scheme of things is once we come up with a final count of what we're going to do, then we'll just write checks, like just for, not that this is going to be the amount, but let's say first place is $100. Okay. Then maybe we'll go, okay, New Braunfels Photographic Society is sponsoring the creative category and this category, you know, and it's like, okay, fine. We take care of all the prizes in that category. Okay. And then the art council is sponsoring this category. And maybe, I don't know. What do y'all think? Should we go out and get Visa gift cards for the different prize amounts and just give them the Visa gift card for that amount, or give them a check that we can put their name on for the dollar value? Or
They prefer cash, but I don't know. Maybe I'm old.
okay, so
I think
Take
they would
the check.
rather the Visa gift card.
Okay.
Only drawback with the Visa gift cards is there's a fee associated when you get those.
Yeah, I've got
That's
several
true.
of those sitting around. I never use them. I always forget about them.
Yeah.
you don't use them?
Mm-mm.
Well, give them to me.
I wish there was a way you could like turn them in somewhere and they could just send you the
Yeah.
money for them or something.
That's the only drawback. There's some fee. I mean, I've purchased them to give out like in Christmas at work and stuff. And
Yeah, there is an added fee. So, well, that's something to be considered. That could be a you know, a overhead cost of running the tournament.
right.
Okay.
Now, am I clear? We've topped this at $500, right?
Yes, we topped it at
Yes.
$500 as far as what we're going to match. So what that means is, between the council, the art council's 500, our 500, we have $1,000 committed to prize money. Okay. So any monetary donations that we may get from the community to go into that pot to divide amongst all the kids. Part of that money could be, okay, well, we have operating costs because the day of the ceremony where we're going to give out, you know, the awards and everything, we want to have light snacks, water, and anything, you know, any overhead stuff. So basically, let's say, okay, we collect $1,500. Well, maybe only $1,300 goes to actual prize money, and there's $200 spent on overhead stuff. You know, anything donated to the event goes to making it happen, however that has to happen. Okay. Hopefully we can almost get everything donated, but anything we can't get donated and have to have, we'll have to buy out of the monetary funds that are collected. Okay.
The simplest thing, of course, for me, who am I thinking of? Me, the simplest thing would be if I made a check out to Greater New Braunfels Art Council and they took care of the gifts, the same format for everybody who gets a gift, not a check from me and a credit card from somebody else. I mean, it just seems like one central person choosing whatever form the gifts are going to be given, and everybody gets it from the same source rather than I'm giving this gift and you're giving that gift. But that's
Okay, so the easiest thing to do is just make the bulk $500 donation and be done with it, right?
for me. That's
Okay. And that, Sharon, trust me, that is important to me, that it be the easiest thing. Okay. And that,
writing a check to Tom and another check to Sally and a check to Fred and
okay. Sounds good. So we'll do just the one, we'll figure out exactly where it's got to go here in the weeks to come. Okay. I think that's all I have. Okay.
Looking
Anybody?
over the bylaws, there didn't appear to be anything there about how much. There's nothing about a specific dollar amount in the bylaws.
But it does say the board is responsible for financial decisions.
I didn't even see that. Let's see.
One of the clubs I'm in has a clause. I don't know. Who knows?
Just there, under treasurer for officers and duties. Let me see if the board of directors has anything. Just like special ballots. I don't see anything about
Money, huh?
money. Just other than treasurer duties. There's
Okay.
nothing, I didn't see anything other than what the dues are. And all of the board duties were decide all business matters. It's basically all it says. And then make
Okay.
a vote of the membership to decide on issues.
Okay, decide all business matters.
Like that would cover the money.
I think that's business. Okay, so, and we've never gone to, in the time I've been associated with this organization, we've never gone to the membership to get approval to buy anything or spend anything. So, so things keep popping in my head. So I'm gonna throw this out there real quick. Does the board want to try to do photos of Primbury this year? What's your thoughts?
How
Okay,
do, yeah, no, it's not, yeah, I will be willing to do it, but what would be how would the venue be? I mean, we'd print stuff and have where would we, show them in convention?
exactly. And those are things that the 2 years that we did it, we had to, work out. But if the key thing is, if we're going to do it, the legwork needs to kind of start now, like finding the venue, okay, and then getting the information out to the club members and discussing, should it be a theme or should it be open, and let each individual and see if there's enough interest from the membership to make it worthwhile. So, yeah, go ahead.
How many, last year we didn't have enough interest to do it. So how many people or how many images do you think would take to pull it off?
Well, if we were going to just try to display at the Civic Center, we would need about 40 images.
Okay.
Okay, 30 to 40 images.
Okay.
The other option we have, or at least what Photos of Primbury has done the last couple of years, is last year they started having some gallery openings, but Photos of Primbury, the staff at Photos of Primbury wasn't prepared to go out and document all of them. So they just listed them on their website. But they also still allowed people to submit images for the web. Okay. And we did that. We did that the first year. We did a web thing with them. Okay. So we've done two in-person shows and then one web one. And then the next year there wasn't enough interest to do the web one. So that's kind of where we stand. Is it something we should address Monday night
Oh, yeah.
and get feedback from the membership and
Yeah.
see if that's where we want to go? But
Right.
before we address it at membership, I want to know if the board backs it.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd be.
Yes.
Okay.
I would like to present it to the meeting on Monday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Victor, do you still have your shirts group of, I know there used to be a photo club and then someone else took it over and then it sort of
Yeah, the
fell apart.
person,
Ended
the
or something.
person that took the search group over from me disbanded it before COVID. And I haven't picked it up. When you see the shirts, anything from my shirts meetup site, that is for students, okay, that have been taking classes at the school. So anything on the meetup site is free events for students to partake of. And here, since we started getting back out and doing stuff, I've been making it multi-club, school and New Braunfels. Anybody from New Braunfels wanted to come down and do something with somebody.
That's what I was going to suggest for Photo September. If we don't have enough interest from our club alone, is we maybe make it a multi-club event and have multiple clubs display, you know.
Okay,
Maybe we just need a half a dozen other people or something that we could poach or invite.
okay.
That is a
Okay.
good idea.
Well, except that we have, if we can't get 40 pictures out of our club that has at least 30 members, Beverly could tell me how many I should know, but I don't, then there's something wrong with our club.
Mm.
Something wrong with why people are not
Mhm.
sitting and not participating. And that's a problem we should solve rather than just go find somebody else to submit pictures with us. My personal opinion.
I think between the PSA 8s and 9s and all the monthly winners, I think that's a pretty good library there of good photos.
Yeah, but
It
they,
is, but it would require them being printed and framed.
Sure.
Okay, so,
Well, I think if we reached out to people, like we were like, this would look great in this exhibit, would you be willing to print it for it? They'd probably be flattered and say, well, sure, I think I would be.
okay,
I would
there's
hope so.
enough photos there for sure.
yep, okay, great. All righty. All right, then it needs to go down as an agenda item for Monday night. Okay, and we'll take up the discussion there with the membership and move from there. Okay, so Suzanne,
Yes.
what do you want to discuss?
Well, I don't know if this is the right platform to discuss it. I know earlier you had mentioned that that you would go back to meeting in person when the airlines no longer required masks or mass transportation. And I just, we had some issues with another group that I belong with, and I just felt that needs to be discussed, whether or not we want to try a hybrid meeting when in-person meetings begin.
Okay, I think this is an excellent place to discuss it because we're the ones that really have to make the decision. Okay, so what's everybody's thoughts on it? Would you rather Zoom the meetings and then do in-person events like photo walks, coffees? What are your thoughts?
Well, my experience with my other group, because we were doing hybrid meetings, but the support for those hybrid meetings waned very quickly. And when we cut off the Zoom, it basically cut the group in half. And so I going through that experience, because I was helping, I was the last person that was doing the Zoom meetings and no one was willing to help me. So December 31st, I cut it off. And it did, I cut the group in half. The people that wanted to continue the Zoom refused to come in person. So I just feel that it's something that needs to be considered. You know,
Okay, so
whoever does the Zoom, are they really committed to doing it for every meeting, or do we just want to do in person and not even have Zoom as an option when we start meeting in person.
Well, what do you think is the best route to go?
I don't think Zoom should be an option because it's going to be difficult to get people willing to meet back in person is kind of what I think. I don't think hybrid meetings should ever be an option.
And when you say hybrid, you're saying in person and Zoom.
Yes.
Okay, okay. All right. Well, what's everybody else's thoughts?
Well, I can tell you that COVID's not over. So I think people might still have some legitimate concerns about meeting in person.
Okay.
And I do acknowledge that. I mean, I work in healthcare and I 100% acknowledge that. I just feel it needs to be discussed. I like doing the Zoom, but meeting in person, I think you really gives you the opportunity to connect with people better.
Yes.
So there's pros and cons both ways. My thing is I don't feel hybrid meetings are the way to go because
Okay.
I think it's a struggle for the tech support.
Okay.
And the commitment.
All right.
I think if we bring it up, every meeting, every other meeting, whatever, have just some open discussion about it. At some point, we'll hit critical mass and say, yeah, okay, it's time to change. Maybe that'll be soon, maybe it'll be later, don't know. But I think we need to get it out there to folks to discuss it, to listen to others' opinions and see where we land.
Okay. Any other feedback?
Well, I think we might lose people,
We lose people if what?
if we didn't do Zoom in addition to the library. Because there are some people that live further out, may not want to drive in, but they could do a Zoom from their home. So that we survived before COVID with no Zoom. And I
We
think we'd be fine not continuing that after, because it is technically challenging. I mean, you've done it twice. How?
Yeah, done it twice, and it is technically challenging. But I mean, first time there was, okay, need to tweak this. Second time, okay, now that we tweaked that, this issue reared its head and we got to deal with that. But it's, well, let me ask this. Do you feel that there's enough of the membership that is still concerned with COVID that maybe coming back in person, putting it off till much later than just picking a event that's going to happen at some point as the kickoff date? Because I don't know, and I was thinking about this just yesterday because I was asked when I was going to start doing group classes again, because I've been doing one-on-ones because I don't want to bring a group of people together in a small classroom and then have a student call me 2 weeks later and say, I caught COVID and I think I got it at the classroom from somebody else. So I've just been doing one-on-ones.
So let me put this out there. Something that is being discussed at work is the speculation is after Fiesta, COVID is going to spike in San Antonio. So should we kind of wait and see how that pans out? Because everybody's out and about participating in Fiesta for the next 2 weeks. Kind of see if the numbers spike.
Yeah, I would say Fiesta and Memorial Day have been,
Yeah.
Memorial Day's been big factor in the last 2 years. Fiesta didn't happen, but Memorial Day did. So I would say those two events we need to get past and see what happens.
Okay.
So maybe put it on the agenda for the next board meeting
Um,
for review.
yeah, we'll do that. Rather than me just say, I'm going to be at the library if you want to come, we'll approach this from a democratic way.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll continue to Zoom until 100% of our membership is comfortable coming back, okay, to in-person stuff, okay?
Could I start a poll on Facebook and see like if you had to pick one or the other where people are leaning?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Do we not have a couple of people who don't drive at night that have joined the club precisely because they could do Zoom? I thought,
We do. Yeah.
Well,
Jeff,
we're gonna be brighter later since it's coming towards summer, so it's not even gonna be dark when we get out. At least for the summer months.
that's true too.
Summer.
And an option, when we do go back to meeting in person, whenever that is, okay, we could always film the meeting,
Yeah.
record the meeting, and then post it on our YouTube channel, okay? So it won't be the same as actually being able to participate. And to be honest with you, you know me, I'm a softie. If maybe a case-by-case basis, if we know of people that just can't drive at night, period, maybe opening up a Zoom link just for them, okay? They're still willing to participate in the membership and continue to pay dues, and not open that up to everybody. But I don't know, that might not work either.
So I think that's a good approach, Victor. I think it would be incumbent upon us then to figure out a way to get the technology right so that that is a good and productive video for the folks that are zooming in.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we'll table it. But we're going to table it with the understanding that Holly's going to do a poll, and we will address the results of the poll at the next board meeting. Because between now and the next board meeting, we're not going to do a monthly meeting in person.
Right.
We're going to continue to Zoom, and we will address the issue of whether or not to go back to in-person meetings at the next board meeting. And which could be just like now, we'll table it again to the next board meeting.
Okay. I just felt that it was pretty devastating to the group, and I had no support, and I felt like I had to end the hybrid meeting, and so I just felt it needed to be at least discussed.
Okay, well, thanks. Okay, Holly, your turn.
I don't have anything to discuss tonight.
Nothing at all?
Mm-mm.
Okay, Frank,
I'm good. Thank you.
you good? Are you completely back from COVID, or are you still got?
I'm good, and I don't have anything to talk about.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So I'll call it 90% back from COVID.
Okay. All right. Sharon.
I don't think I have anything.
Okay. Dennis.
No, I don't have anything, but I'm not a member, so I shouldn't have anything anyway.
Well, you're the PSA rep.
Yeah, no, I'm fine.
In a way that makes you kind of like a director too.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm
No.
going to submit a email to the club's website we tell people if you have questions that you want the board to address, to submit it via email, and we will bring it up at the board meeting. So I'm going to submit an email to the website, and Holly will get that email. And at the next board meeting, she will bring up, someone wants to add another director position and call it PSA rep.
Dennis, you didn't even feel the hook in your mouth, did you?
You'll never escape.
Come on into the boat.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Albert,
I'm good, sir.
you sure?
Yeah, I did. I was going to tell you that the community room there in Seguin is open to the public again, but considering our topic, it doesn't seem like we're going to have public meetings anyway, but FYI, it is open.
Well,
That's a long ways too.
let me throw this out there, and seriously, give me your feedback, okay? Because this is not something that's going to require effort on any of your part, okay? Because I'm the driving force here, okay? I've made no secret the last few years that I would really like to be the educational director, okay, and handle education. And then the beginning of this year, I said, what about a second meeting? Okay. On maybe maybe the fourth Monday of every month, or it might have to alternate because of my eyes. But what if I did, well, if I reserved the library for a fourth Monday night educational meeting, and we not Zoom it. Okay, it has to be in person. But then everybody that comes, they decide to come, they're not forced to come. And, I know there's a lot of people in the club that say, I only got time for one night a month. I don't have time for anything else because I'm in so many other things. All right. But I think we do have, one of the things, Holly, how many emails do we get from people wanting to know, do we give classes?
Probably at least one a month.
Okay.
Mhm.
And if that was an option, if people felt like, hey, I can occasionally get something educational other than listening how to make better photos through critiques. Okay. That's something that I'm interested in doing. I'm sorry, guys. Hang on a second. Okay. I hate it when they talk back. Okay. Is there any thoughts on that? Would anybody be mad if I did that?
No,
No,
absolutely not. But, we just have to wait and see if people showed up. And I guess you'd have to put out like this week, we're going to talk about this or anything else you want to talk about. But
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's clarity about the topic or the skill level is important, because if it's basic exposure, rule of thirds, that kind of thing, that's very different from how to use your flash, how to do some more advanced things. And I think there's a need or demand for all of that, but clarity about the topic each session would be important.
Okay. All right. Anybody? Last chance for everybody. I'm fixing to close the meeting out. We've been here. What time is it?
I'm good.
I'm good.
Oh, man.
Didn't get a chance
Well,
to,
do what?
Beverly didn't have a chance to say if she had anything.
Who?
Beverly,
no, I'm fine.
Beverly,
fine. I
you're
don't
up
have
at
any-
the top right-hand corner. I'm sorry, Beverly.
That's okay. My camera froze, so.
Oh, wow.
Frozen.
I
Wow.
thought you were practicing that, ventriloquism act of yours.
No, I don't know why it freezes once in a while. I've had that happen before in meetings.
Oh, wow,
So,
okay. All right. Okay, so I would like to officially bring the meeting to a close. And do I have a second?
Second,
Okay, all in favor?
aye.
Bye.
Okay, great. Holly, stop the recording. I still have a couple of questions.